Hello.
Hey, hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Can you hear me well?
I can. I'm excited.
Me too.
So, any questions or concerns before we go?
um, no, but yeah, I'll see. I want to make this very conversational with you. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, yep,
Good.
yep. What I'll do when we go live, I'll click the button. We're not officially live on Facebook just yet. I've got it all set up. I just got to hit the button. And then once we go, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping, kind of introduce myself, tell everybody what the group's about, give you a little bit of an introduction, then turn it over to you, kind of let you run with it. And then that's how I do is I kind of let the host, or not the host, but the guest kind of run with it. And then I chime in and, talk whenever. I'll also be watching Facebook for comments. And it looks like we got Ella is on the line with us too. So
I shared basically the thing that you posted in my
mhm,
private Facebook group. It's just women's only, so you couldn't really
awesome.
see what's going on. But a lot of people are going your way, and they're going to be here, so it's fun.
Sweet. So, all right. Well, if you're ready to rock, I'll click the live
I'm
button.
ready. I'm super ready.
Awesome. All right. So that should have us live on Facebook, but I always like to just click over here and double check it. Because like I always say, the one time I don't check it's when we won't be live and it'll just be us, which won't be a bad thing, but we won't have the interactivity from the group, which we love to
I
have.
think you're
Say
here.
the one time I don't check it is when we won't be live. Oh, there we go. Go like that. Okay, we are there. And let me approve this one person. What are you doing? No, don't do that. All right, we're just letting everybody kind of come into the group. And while I fiddle around with this crazy Facebook thing here, well, there's one more person that I see a request here to join the group, and I want to make sure in case they were joining to see this particular call. Would you stop? Every time I try and click it, it wants to make a new post. I'm like, no, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, I keep getting requests. I'm accepting people in there. Like, yes.
There we go. Okay, approve that. All right. So let me back over to the screen where I can see you, and then we are set. So, all right, hello, welcome everybody.
Hello.
My name is James Dunn. I am the host and founder of this Turning the Outbreak into Opportunity Facebook group. As I've shared at the beginning of each one of these calls, as COVID-19 was kind of spreading across the country and across the world, there was so much fear and so much doubt and uncertainty. This is something none of us have ever seen before in our lifetimes, and hopefully never will ever again. But it put people into this weird kind of funk, I think. And I saw it as an amazing opportunity for so many people to hit the pause button, hit the reset button, just to really reevaluate where they're at in their lives and what's available to them. And maybe they're on the path that they want to be on, but maybe they're not. So this is that perfect time to really step back and take a look at it. But if all they focused on was, what was presented to us in the news, media outlets, it was all doom and gloom and death and despair. So I put this group together to make sure there was something positive people could focus on. And we've been bringing in speakers pretty much every day. After the first couple of weeks, we dropped it, 3 days a week, because originally I thought there's just going to be 2 weeks and we're all going back to normal and everything's going to be wonderful. But that didn't happen. So we are continuing this as long as it takes, and maybe even longer. Who knows? But real quick, let me go ahead and do that. I do want to share that this is a free resource. This is open to anybody and everybody that wants to put it out there. So if you're watching right now from home, and you're watching on Facebook, which I'm going to be monitoring on my phone, feel free to share it as a watch party. This is not something that we're trying to hide or contain. We want these messages to get out to as many people as possible. So absolutely feel free to share. And also, we are on a live Zoom call. We've got a few people that have joined us here, and you're more than welcome to do that. We'd love that, because that gives you a better chance to actually interact with us, here live on the call. But if you're not wanting to join us live on the Zoom, you can definitely still post questions in the Facebook group. As I mentioned, I'm going to be watching those, on my phone over here. So if you see me looking away, it's not because I'm ignoring anybody. It's because I'm just checking to make sure if there's questions that we're addressing them, either at that moment or before the end of the call. So if you post something and I don't answer it immediately or don't toss it in immediately, it may just be something that's better to wait till we get a little closer to the end of the call. So with that all being said, let me introduce you to our awesome and amazing speaker. Sacha is somebody I've just gotten to know over the last 6 months, 12 months. It's one of those people where you just have this instant connection with. We're Instagram buddies. That's how we got to know each other. I don't even know how we initially connected, but just one of those random cosmos things where we crossed paths, and I feel like she's my spiritual sister almost in a lot of areas, because we just resonate so well with each other on so many ideas and things. And so she's somebody I absolutely wanted to have on here with us today. And so without further ado, Sacha, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And I love that you said, I don't even remember how we connected, because I also was like, I don't know. I feel like I just saw one of your posts, or maybe it was like with Chris Harder or something. And I was like, damn, like I love the way you spoke, and you're so straight up. Like you're so fucking real. Like you're so real. There's no bullshit with you ever. And as someone who really values that, it was like, wow. It really
Yeah.
also called me to step even more into my authenticity. And I know that we have people on here who have been, calling that in, like, what does it mean to be really authentic? And is it actually something that I really believe to be, or is it something else? Because redefining authenticity is something that you can feel. And with you, James, I really felt that. Like every post that you write, it's like, I feel the human. And I have actually directed a few people on your page months ago. Like and they're on here right now, and they're people who have loved to follow you and watch what you do, and like just watching you be and the person that you've become on this journey. So I know that I'm here to talk about authentic contribution and abundant compensation, but I really want to do something a little bit interesting. And I hope you're game to do this with me, because I want to play a little game.
No, I hate games. Games are terrible. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Let's do it.
Okay, so I actually want to ask you, because we're definitely Instagram buddies, and synchronicity brought us together, like attracts like, that's for sure. But I wanted to ask you, like, because this is so relevant to the talk that I want to do. What would you say that you're actually completely aligned with your purpose right now? Would you say that you're like, fuck yeah, like, this is it? Like I'm
about 95% of the way there. I've been really trying to hone in on the specific market, like my ideal customer avatar. If we're in the business, we're looking at ideal customer avatar. And I feel like I've been a little generic, almost like it's an almost broad overview of who I speak to. So I've been really trying to niche it down, and I've kind of narrowed it down, but I'm still not 100% sold that that's it. So, but in terms of the direction I'm going and the messages that I'm trying to get out there, yes, but I'm still trying to figure out who's that one person I'm trying to talk to.
I love the way you answered that, just because I'm like, in my opinion, I see you, and everything that I want to talk about is all about trusting the inner feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't know exactly who you're speaking to, when you speak from that truth, that conviction, that certainty within yourself, your people just fucking gravitate. And it's not even like, you don't even have to put the avatar perfectly. It actually kind of comes. Yeah. So the part about authentic contribution is the thing that makes you super fucking magnetic. And I've seen you share, and I actually think that you are 100% of the way there, because authentic contribution can come, like it can come at any moment. Anyone on this call right now can have it. It's that genuine energy, like, oh my God, I can't fucking wait to talk about this. Like yesterday, I actually went live in my group and talking about the easiest way that we can really catch ourselves. Or am I being authentic? Am I not being authentic? Am I being magnetic? Or am I not being magnetic? And magnetism is authenticity. And the way that we can pick up on that is, am I pumped to talk about this or not? Like, am I actually fucking stoked about this? Do I want to be here right now? Yes, I do. Honestly, like I so badly do. So much that yesterday I actually thought that it was today. Like I actually was like so prepared. I got ready for the call. I was like, shit, it's not today. Like I was just like, and I was like, damn, like I really want to like talk about this. And it's actually been something that's been bubbling up so much bigger than I had initially anticipated. The title that I gave you, it's like, I can't stop thinking about this, because of the outbreak, so many people are at home and they have time. I don't know about you, James, and I don't know if you've ever had a moment in your life that you've been working a job that you don't love,
mm-hmm.
You don't love the job. You're like, I just need to do this because obviously I got to pay my rent. I got to pay the groceries. I have a child to support, whatever reason it is. Like, we do things because we have to. We do things because we must. But right now what's happening is we're all at home. We all have like a break. Is like most of our governments are helping us, but even if they're not, we're still fine. Like, I mean, they're like, we're home, we're healthy, we're fine. We're fine. Most of us are fine. Yes, there are people who are struggling. Like, God bless. Like, I'm with you guys. But for a lot of us, we're at home twirling our thumbs. And the beautiful thing that happens with that, and I've seen it with my husband, who's not into the entrepreneurial world yet. I'm telling you, there's a beautiful thing that happens if you're at home and you have a lot of times on your hand. What you're going to find is that people start to do things that they actually want to do. Right? Like, the watching the Netflix thing kind of like rubs off like a long way. Like, we kind of get bored after a while. We're like, okay, but what am I here to do? Like, what is my mission? What is my life purpose? What is this thing like that makes me come alive? Yes. Right? Like, and all of us have been praying. I don't know about you, but obviously we switched into entrepreneurship and like owning our own business before this. But for a lot of people, this is the first time that they're giving thought that maybe they could create something with their own energy. They could create their own company, right? Like, this is the first time that they're giving it thought. And I've really been able to see it, not only just with my clients, but like, I mean, with my friends, with my husband, like I said, and I'm just like blown away, right? Like, sometimes we're so far away from it that we can't see it. Well, the thing that I really want to share with you, and I want to ask you with this, is that with you, like with your life right now, with the outbreak turning into opportunity, you are someone who decided, okay, shit hit the fan. Let me come up with a solution that I can bring value to a shit ton of people. Is that what happened? Is that what, walk me through what happened in your mind, because it's going to really illustrate for other people that are watching right now, the thought process that was happening to create this magnificent thing.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I look back in my Facebook feed. I mean, 10 years I've been posting positive memes and, hey, think good things. And it's just been, natural evolution. We're just like, say, as it's almost even like you talked about, with watching Netflix. After a while, like posting memes, I'm like, fuck, I can only post so many memes, saying the same shit over and over. So then I would start writing posts. And then, as I started writing posts, then I get deeper and deeper in my own personal development. And then I want to share that with other people. So that's when I started coaching. There's all this going on. And then, so like you said, when everything came down with COVID-19, to me, it just automatic, like, people need a positive message. What's the best thing I can do right now to help them with that positive message? And I've got so many fucking amazing people on my network, like yourself, that have great messages. And so, I mean, it's one of those, I don't even look back and think like there was no plan. It was just like, holy fuck, I need to do, talk about cosmic shit, man. Just that download, man. It was just, put this together. You've got the people to do this. Let's put a group together. Let's bring all these speakers in, because another thing that might have actually helped was I had literally just came home from a mastermind event. So there I was, surrounded by a bunch of people, that were in that space, and we had this amazing feeling coming out of it. And I mean, matter of fact, it was so small on the radar. We were all hanging out at the hotel, or a bunch of us were hanging out at the bar, not getting drunk, just hanging out, just talking, because we just love being around each other. And they popped up on the TV screen that they had canceled the NBA season. We're all like, what the fuck is that about? We're like, why are they canceling? What's going on with this virus thing? Why are they canceling it? Oh my gosh, that's so silly. We had so little clue of where it was going. We're in this high energy space. So then we come home, and literally like a week, like 4 or 5 days later, they're canceling schools and everybody stay home. And so it might have been just that I'd already been around that environment. So I knew like people need this type of environment. So let's make it virtual, put that online. And it was just like, say, just following into that natural flow. It wasn't like, let me come up with this really awesome evil scheme of, I don't know how to, whatever, but just.
So you followed what felt like it's almost like something came through you. You were just like, that would be fucking rad. Like, that would be cool. Wouldn't it be great? Like, you just came from this mastermind. You had that energy of like community, and everybody believes in so many possibilities. Like, let's make the world a better place and use our magic, use our own like special creative gifts. Yeah. And then you were like so in that vibe, and you're like, oh fuck, what's happening with the world? How can I bring that kind of value that I just felt, like that nourishment, that soul nourishment, that mental nourishment, that emotional nourishment that you had with that community. And now you're bringing it for free to so many other people, and it expands the networks, right? Like we're connecting people with other people. So I just want to say, like, the thing that you followed, that urge, that like, I want to do this. I don't even know why. I don't know how to do this. Like, I'm going to figure it out, but I'm pumped. And you just trusted that feeling, and it brought something to you. And you don't even know what the connections that are going to bring from that. Like, you don't even know. I know the people a little bit on this call, and I'm like, they're getting to know you now. And I'm so excited about that. So I just want to say, this is literally what I talk about. I talk about trusting the inner system, trusting the feelings, because that doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. And the things that are going to make you, when you follow the shoulds, if you said, Chris Harder said I should do this, that. And by the way, he's so fucking amazing. So it probably would be amazing. So, but like, let's say someone like, I don't know, like one of your old friends from childhood who was like, you know, James, you really shouldn't do things on the internet, because you should do the. And if you listened to the shoulds from whoever that was, all the people that are on this call right now wouldn't have gotten the value, wouldn't have gotten the network. Like, we wouldn't have been able to connect. So what happens in the world most of the time, not with everybody, but most of the time, is that people follow the shoulds because people don't really trust themselves. Because why? Because what happens is that, I don't know if you, can you see me? Or did I beg?
It like flashed for like half a second, but you're still there.
You know, that's a sign that spirit's with me, or whatever you want to call it, like universe, whatever. Like, like magic is coming through, baby. So what I was going to talk about is basically like following the people who follow the shoulds, right? We go to school, and how do we get the good grades? How do we get the stuff? We have to listen and do exactly what the teacher says. So we're basically bred, we're made into little machines that like repeat what we're told. So then when we're out in the real world and we have to think for ourselves, we don't necessarily trust ourselves because we don't even know how to do that. So like, we got to get trained in that. We got to get trained in intuition. We got to get trained in like learning the language of our body, because our body fucking knows. Like, nothing is truer than that. And I actually wanted to ask you about something, and you've actually influenced me about this. Like, I do want to say, your fucking posts on Instagram about running in the morning, I'm like, Sacha, get back into the gym, like get back into something, because you're so adamant about it. You're so good at it. You prioritize your well-being. You prioritize your physical health. You prioritize your mental health. I know that you're working in masterminds all the time, and that must be incredibly nourishing for you. You're prioritizing your nourishment. And I wanted to ask you, was that always the case, or did you start doing that after a while? Did you hit a rock bottom? Did something happen? Like, or did you just start that when you were, a kid?
No, it was definitely not something that I did most of my life. Most of my life, I just went with the flow. Like I said, did everything I thought I was supposed to be doing, get the job. I mean, and not that I hated my job, but it definitely wasn't lighting me up. It started like when I very began started, it was like, hey, but I really loved it. And that's why I kind of got into the career I ended up in for a while, but then it just, like most jobs, but where the real big shift and prioritizing my life on a small level happened was as my second marriage was on the rocks. It was one of those where things were starting to crumble. And that's when I'd actually taken up running. Running really changed my life, because that's when I really started and it wasn't even so much, matter of fact, and here's a really funny story, it was more jealousy that got me into doing it. It was because my soon-to-be ex-wife at that time, her best friend's husband had a medal on a wall in his little man cave, and I saw it one day, and I'm like, what's that? And he's like, I got a medal for running. So I'm like, oh, well, I want a medal. So I went and signed up for a 5K. Turns out you don't get medals for 5Ks. So I had to sign up for like half marathon. So I signed up for a full marathon. Ran it, but it was that whole process of going running that really got me started doing it. And at that time, I was working, my wife was working, we had kids, and so literally the only time I could find to do it was before dawn. That's when I would get up at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's when that little piece started coming into play, prioritizing my time before everybody else got up, because I didn't want to take away from them or make them feel bad for what I was trying to do. So I was like, if we all got 24 hours a day, I got to just take a little bit, less time to sleep and get up and take that for me.
That's actually a really great message, I think, for everybody here and everybody who's watching this call, whether you're on the replay, whether you're live. Like, he has kids. He had a wife that it was about to be his ex. Like, you were like not probably not vibing that much, but you still were like, I got to do something. And you took responsibility, right? It's about taking responsibility, right? Realizing that no one's going to fucking do it for you. No one is there to like make your life amazing for you. That's not like a thing. I know for me, a lot of my suffering came from, like, even when I was a lot younger, I was thinking, oh, I can't date that guy. He's not making me happy. Like, I used to think that the partner I was with had to make me happy. Like, that's how, that was a while ago. Like, and now I'm like, oh, no. Like, it's me. I have to make myself happy. And then I align with the person that's there to also fucking co-create with me. But it's not my job, and it wasn't your job, but you still took it upon yourself. Like, there must have been a click, right? Yeah. It's like a click of, oh shit, I have to create my life, right? I can't, like, life is not going to just magically happen to me, and things are not just going to align. And I know that for you, you are a little bit, like, I'm not even sure like how woo-woo you get, or how woo-woo Chris Harder vibes.
I know you get into life design, and you're a little bit about one of my best buddies. He's really deep into life design and all that stuff. I'm like, not quite there yet, man. Not quite there yet. I love Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of my, I love that fucking dude. So the law of attraction, I love how he combines the science with it. So I'm kind of in between Joe Dispenza and life design, somewhere in between there. Well,
it's actually like he was also my front, like my first entry into that world, I would say. Yeah. And like a law of attraction, all that, manifestation, all that, it's actually not woo-woo at all, like whatsoever. Like, is quantum physics woo-woo? Is science woo-woo? No, It's just like tiny particles. And it's almost like saying, like, your heart has a heartbeat, right? What happens when you pass out? What happens if you go unconscious, and people, what do they take to revive you? Electricity. Like, they fucking boom that shit. Like, and then the heart starts pumping again. We are bioelectric machines. Like, we are bioelectric machines. We are wired with electricity. There's a current that goes inside of us. And when we're feeling super, super good, when we're actually feeling, in harmony, I would say, in harmony with ourselves, it's us and us. Like, there's two beings within, right? We don't just have one unified being. We have this human suit, this human meat suit, and we have this, like, undercurrent, which I would call, spirit or whatever, but you can call it the body, right? Let's put it in the body. There's knowledge in your body that tells you alignment, harmony, or not alignment and disharmony. And this is actually like the segue into abundance, the segue into compensation, and the segue into, for me, like, I'm talking, like, honestly, super fucking honest with you, like, the moment that I just stopped fighting myself, like, I stopped fighting my nature. I stopped fighting and trying to be everything to everyone. I stopped trying to be the perfect this and, trying to do all the things to be validated on the exterior. And I started doing the things to validate myself and to honor who I am. And the way that I started doing that, it's not like, I didn't just like decide like, oh, let me just like pick up this idea. Oh, I want to be like a Jennifer Lopez, or like, no, like that, as well as you, like, you saw the medal, you're like, fuck, that sounds good. We see people, and we're like, okay, I guess they did that, so I can do it too.
Yeah.
But here's the magic. Now, when we see someone doing something, like you see your brother-in-law and he's running, that may be like, you're like, oh, cool, like, I'm going to probably like running because it looks like I want a medal. What happened for me is I realized when I looked at people and I envied, or like I had not necessarily envy, but just more like admiration and being like, wow, they look like they're fucking having a really good time at life. Like, they're having like the best time at life. Does it mean that I must do exactly what they're doing? Or does it mean that they are aligned with their thing? Like, do you see what I'm saying? So the fault and the little block that I had was that I thought that, oh, well, if this person's happy, it must mean that all people who do this job are happy. But it doesn't have to do with the job. It has to do with your alignment with that specific thing. Like, and that's the thing that it took a while for me to debunk. And I know that this is not necessarily the most woo-woo thing, but for me, I dabbled with fucking everything. Like, I went dark, I went deep, I went woo-woo, I went magic, cosmos, everything. I was like, let's get in there, baby. Like, let's go. I hired astrologers, like human design experts. I did the whole thing. And I tried a bunch of different jackets to see which one fit the best. And then I realized that I had been wearing a bunch of different jackets that didn't fucking work with me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that actually started working for me, is that I realized that I had a lot of should energy. I had a lot of, I have to do this because society says so. I have to do this because my parents said so. And then instead of that, I was just like, you know what, fuck this. Like, because I actually went into burnout, like really bad burnout.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody here has ever worked with, like, ever felt that, ever had a moment in your life that you just like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like, I can't keep on trying to impress people to work at this job for money, because it's just like not fucking worth it. What, like, okay, I get a paycheck every week or whatever, but at the cost of what? Like, at what cost? At what cost is it worth it? Is there a moment that the money isn't just, it's not worth it? And that's really what I was faced with. I was faced with, holy crap, what do I do now? What do I do now? And then we have to be like super antennas, like, you know, like you did, following the breadcrumbs, like one thing leads there, one thing leads here. And then you start to feel things and you start to pay attention. Oh my God, when I'm with these people, I feel fucking phenomenal. It's like they have so many things, like everything is possible. Like when you go to your mastermind with Chris Harder and like that whole Fast Foundations gang, like I see everything. Like I see that and I feel your energy. I'm like, fuck, that looks like a really good vibe. Like I've got my masterminds, my crews and everything, and I'm so stoked about it too. But I love when I see people finding their people. It's just, I feel like the energy just expands. And when you're around the right people, when you're around the people who want to, they see possibilities. They're not the people who like, oh, but you shouldn't do that. It changes a lot. So that internal system, like whatever brought you to Fast Foundations, I just want to say, was there a moment in your life that before Fast Foundations, before whatever, before 10 years ago posting whatever, was there a moment in your life that you didn't have the community that you have now? And I'm assuming you're going to say yes. And I also want to say, what was it like and how did you know? What was the step like? What were the things that you did? And how did it feel to be without that kind of communal support versus now? How does it feel to have a bunch of people who are like so fucking like, they get it, they get the expansion, they get the growth?
Yeah. Well, and it's weird because I think we all have those situations. We all go through it in life and we see those little inklings, but almost like you said before, you know, you said something about, I was trying out all these different, well, you dove in and you tried on these different suits to realize that you weren't wearing the suits that fit you before. And I think so many of us know that we're not where we're supposed to be, but we're either afraid to go try something different or, well, just more than anything, I think we're just afraid, or we just don't realize that we can go try something different. And I think that's where a lot of it came for me, was where I grew up. I grew up in a very small town, 8,000 people, you know, kind of a thing. And I had some of the best fucking times of my life ever there. But we were like, our vision was only so big in that area. And it wasn't till my probably mid-20s, almost late 20s, when I finally stepped my toe into an environment that was a little different. You know, they started teaching me about SMART goals, and that's when I first got introduced to Tony Robbins, and, you know, reading, you know, personal development and just little things, but it wasn't deep, but it was just enough like, oh wait, there's this different world over here. Huh, okay, this is kind of interesting. And that's when I started, you know, thinking a little bit more positive and like what was possible. And that's, you know, kind of helped me evolve a little bit, but I only got so far with that. And that carried me for quite a while, but that led me up to the point when I was getting that second divorce. I'm like, man, what the fuck, man? There's something going on. This is twice this happened to me. You know, something, I need to go deeper somewhere, somehow. And I was far enough into the journey that's when I was like, you know what? I've listened to Tony Robbins. I know he does he does live events. And so I went to my first live Tony Robbins event, and that's when it was like, holy fuck. Now I get it. Holy shit. You know, and again, nothing wrong with anybody I ever spent time with, but these people opened up this entirely new world to me. Like, shit, this is the jacket I need to be fucking wearing, you know? And so that was that moment where it took the major shift. And then again, it's all still an evolution, because then from there, that opened me up to a new audience, which then eventually led me to the Fast Foundations Mastermind, which is like even higher, you know, it keeps going and going. I'm like, how can it fucking get any better?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just wow.
I love hearing all of this, because I also love that you said you're not that woo-woo, because everything you said has to do with woo-woo. And I just want to debunk that, because you're like, okay, like, you know, obviously something's not working. I'm on my second divorce. Like, something about, maybe it's not them. Maybe it's like, I'm not recognizing what might be the best for me. Like, I'm not. So you had this like urge to get to know yourself better. You had this pull, right? It's a pull. So you followed the curiosity. You followed the things that you're like, okay, well, is there more options? Is there more alternatives? And the way that it happens when you have that is that universe, when you make a decision, like woo-woo or not, you actually eliminate like things you're no longer available for. I'm no longer fucking available for this. Like, I made a decision, we're done. Like, you know, I'm not on the fence, I'm just done with this. So you're opening up to a whole new series of opportunities. Like, shoot, everything opens up. It's like, okay, you had a fork on the road, you said no to this, and this opens up and it like widens. And all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I have these opportunities. This is manifestation, by the way. Like, you're opening a new portal for new things to enter. It's like, okay, I'm done with this. Nothing in my aura, nothing in my energy is like gonna link up with this anymore. I'm opening up to new things. And then what you said is like, and then I found like Tony Robbins, like whatever brought you to Tony Robbins. And then I'm sure when you showed up there, I'm sure you met some connections and you met some people, and then you have them on Instagram and on Facebook, and then those people like link to other things. This is manifestation. This is literally what it is. Manifestation just means bringing things into form. So in your mind, you've been like maybe subconsciously wanting people that are more aligned for you, whether it's in a relationship or in a work environment or friends or just like fucking people. But you're just like, you knew you wanted that. It was like, it's like a subconscious thing. It might be a conscious thing. And then the universe like, oh, he decided he wants people to be on his fucking level. Let's match him up with that. He's done with the things that are no longer for him. And then the universe keeps bringing stuff to you, because you're opening up new things. You're saying, I'm willing to honor my truth. I'm willing to honor my highest self. Like, however you want to slice and dice it, like that's what it is. You decided that you were worthy of a more aligned relationship, more aligned friendships, more aligned just like people in your life. And the universe matches that. And I'm sure as you keep upping your worth, as you keep honoring who you are, like you're strengthening James Dunn energy. You're strengthening that. You're making it like potent fucking magic. And what I like to say is like the sun, when we're so ourselves, when we're so authentic in who we are, when we like integrate, I was like that, so what? Like, I own it. I own all of the things that I am. There's nothing about me that I'm not owning. There's no leaks. There's no holes. There's no, like, it's fucking saturation station. And the universe sees that and it's like, all right, who that is, I'm gonna match it with that. That's why when we started the call, we started talking about, you know, your avatar, your dream customer and your dream person to work with. I'm telling you, like, I know that a lot of experts are saying, like, you must be so specific with that. But I just want to say, like, I've been very pleasantly surprised. And everybody that I have worked with, like, they have, like, very little in common on the exterior. But in the interior, they all have that essence. They all have that, like, fighter spirit and, like, truth-seeking people that want to lead. And they just need that, like, fine-tuning. They're, like, 99% of the way there. And it just, like, we have a meeting, it just activates them into the next step. And I think that's also your magic. It's like, the more that you strengthen who you are, the more that you shine, the more that you, like, you own who you are. And I've seen the way that you just show up on camera. Like, I remember when we started following each other, like, this is one of the few things I remember. Like, you weren't as present, like talking to the camera. And now it's like every fucking day. And like, I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is one of the few things, like the little things that people can pick up on this call is like the ability to be seen and choosing to be seen and letting yourself be seen with the swear words, right? Like we had conversations about that. Like,
fuck yeah, we did.
fuck yeah. And like, you know, like accepting that it's gonna like filter some people out. And this is another thing that actually, even one of my masterminds, like I'm with like the most amazing mastermind. And even in that high fucking level, some people are still like, I feel like I'm afraid of saying what I really want to say because I'm not gonna have an audience. I'm not gonna have an audience. And what I actually said to her is, you're gonna lose the audience that is not for you. And that's a good thing. Like this is another thing about manifestation and magnetism. The more that you own who you are, the more like, and the more fucking polarized and awkward and like weird that you get. Like owning my spirituality and my weirdness was a process because I don't come from a family that like thinks that's cool. Like I guess they're more like you, like they like science and they're like manifestation. What are you talking about? Like what the fuck is
yeah.
They're like, are you a wizard? Like, yeah, pretty much. Like, but you know, it's like, let's call it energy. Let's just call it energy. And you like, let's look at who is someone, who's a book, who's someone, like let's call it someone, anyone that you like love, like you're like, oh my god, they're shit. Like, or maybe it's an actor, maybe it's Tony Robbins, like whoever it is, like just name someone that you're like, I love who this person is.
Well, we're just talking about like Joe Dispenza. I love Joe Dispenza because, like, say he was the guy. Because I've always loved the idea of law of attraction, but I also keep that foot in the science side of stuff. So it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to let go of just whatever. But then when he was able to marry those, so I'm like, holy fuck, dude, I love this. Because when I feel like it's getting a little too, we were like, no, go look at what Joe's doing. He's explaining it. It's all fucking science, man. It's right fucking there. I'm like, okay, so just let that go and like I said, just follow that flow and that energy.
I love that you said that. And I agree. Like, I think Joe Dispenza is fucking genius at doing that. And it brings people that are more on the normal, like sciencey plane, like the 3D, I need evidence and all that. It brings those people like into a higher level of awareness. Like, holy shit, this is possible. Like what? Like, you know, he really does a fucking phenomenal job. But what I was getting at is that someone like that was bringing so much value to so many people. At one stage, I'm sure he doubted himself and he was like, I can't put myself out there. I can't start sharing my gifts. I can't, like, you know, he had that like imposter syndrome or whatever, but he actually trusted. He's like, I got magic and I really believe I can help the world with that. And that is the essence. That is like, again, like that is the jump into abundant compensation. When you own your gifts, right? Before Joe Dispenza was Joe Dispenza as we know, he had a process. He had a process of, do I want to be an accountant? Do I want to be working at, you know, like a fast food chain? Like, do I want to do these things? But inside he trusted and he was like, no, like, I got these gifts. The universe gave me these gifts. I was born with these gifts. Let me just like prioritize and honor my authentic like gifts, the things that I'm lit up by, the things that I'm excited about. Like schooling for, I think he went to chiropractor school or something like that. Like I don't think that's easy, like, or necessarily, but it's about doing the things that are a little bit hard in the moment sometimes, because we know that the world gets to benefit from our excellence. So some people are at home right now, they're like, Sacha, that's great. That's great for Joe Dispenza because he's Joe Dispenza. But what about me? Like, what about me? Like, I'm just like a normal person. Like, you know, I'm just a dentist, or like, I'm like, whatever it is. So my message is about saying that, no, that is not true. That is not true. Everybody's got magic. Everybody's got something that they're fucking pumped about. And it doesn't matter, like, it's not about, and this is something that I've struggled with. This is why I teach on this. This is why I talk about this all the fucking time. And I know you're not in my Facebook community, but like, everybody's like probably fucking sick of it because I'm so passionate about it. And I talk about it every single day. It's not necessarily like your purpose that everybody's like, such a hot word right now. Like people are like, I don't know my purpose. Like, let me find my purpose. I always want to just say, like, ugh, like what excites you about life? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to talk about? Like, is it pancakes?
Your
Gluten-free
purpose is just to
pancakes?
fucking be you. Seriously.
Yes, yes,
Don't
yes. But that's
overcomplicate it.
like, but it is, isn't it? Like, it's like, what do you mean? Like, which me? Okay, this is something I really, really, really wanted to talk about, and I'm glad I didn't forget. So I just want to debunk one little thing, because people come to me and they're like, okay, be myself. Do you mean like sit on the couch, drink a 6-pack, and eat Cheetos? Because that feels good. That is alignment. And I'm like, okay, but is that really honoring your highest self? Is that really saying God or universe or source energy, I have used all my gifts, like, you know? And not really, right? Like, you
Well,
can do that, and that's
yeah.
fun. Like, I believe in fun. Like, trust me, I'm like fucking all about it. But
let's ask yourself, but are you truly having fun doing that, or is it just comfortable? It's comfortable. Fuck yeah, dude. I do the same thing every I shouldn't say every couple of days. I don't know where the fuck that came from. Every so often, I'll do that. I'll sit on the couch and just fucking, binge Netflix and eat whatever. But is that truly lighting me up? Am I excited to get home and sit on the couch and eat fucking Cheetos? I'm like, no, I'm not. That's the difference, I think, there.
That's exactly, you nailed it. Like, that's precisely it. And that thing will feel good, but like, if you're forced to sit at home and do this, and you will have a moment that your soul will feel starved. And I know, like, let's not call it soul, let's just say that your inner being, like, not to be too woo woo, but like,
Yeah.
the thing inside of you, the currents inside of you, that like the design that you came up with, like the thing that you're made for, it's going to be like, okay, but like, I don't have any fulfillment right now. I'm not fulfilled because I'm not using my energy for like my life force, my beautiful magic, like this like divine fucking thing running through me. I'm not using it for something, for purpose. I'm not using it to help others. I'm not using it to connect with people authentically. I'm not using it for fuck all. So let's just say for fun, this is not that fun, but let's just say that you spend your whole month or your whole 2 months on the couch doing nothing, and someone shows up at your door and you're there, and like you gain like 70 pounds, and like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to exaggerate, and you have like shitty hair and your beard's all like crazy, or like, and someone comes to your door, are you really proud of yourself? Are you proud of who you've become? And they say, please come speak on this live Zoom call. Are you like, fuck yeah, I've got shit to share that actually is worthy for other people? Like, you have nothing to give.
No.
When you have nothing to give, that's that feeling that we feel like, oh, I have nothing to give. That hurts. I don't know about you, Jays, but like, have you ever had a moment like you wanted to give someone like a gift, and you wanted to give them the best gift, but you didn't have like the resources or something, and you're just like, oh my God, that hurts so much, right?
Yeah.
So imagine the opposite. Imagine going to Tony Robbins and like doing the work, doing the like reading the books or doing the meditations, connecting with yourself, because I truly believe that we have a endless well within us of knowledge that is in here. When we connect to that, fucking everything flows. Every time I do a live call, like, I never have had notes, and even if I have notes, I don't fucking follow them, because I just trust that if I'm connected, it flows.
Yeah.
Like, it just fucking flows. Imagine having the same 2 months, and you read the books, you took time to run every morning because you follow James Dunn on Instagram. You took the time to drink water. You took like, and maybe a few nights you had the beers, and you enjoyed the food, because it's just fucking pleasure to enjoy food. But it wasn't just like your whole life, right? Your whole life was honoring your true authentic self. But then sometimes you just want to fucking enjoy food because you want to enjoy food. You want to consciously enjoy it, as opposed to just numbing eating. And like, guess what? The person that comes to your door after that 2 months of investing in yourself, you're just like, oh, bitch, when do you want to go? I can speak on any stage. I can speak to anyone. I can go to any dinner party because I'm fucking proud of myself, because I've actually been working on myself. I have something to give. I have so much to give. The feeling of the one person who has never invested in themselves, who just decided to kind of sit on the sidelines of life, that person is going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
And the other person's going to feel fucking phenomenal. This is the difference between fulfillment and just like comfort. Mm-hmm. This is the difference. This is the biggest actual shift, because people are always like, what do you mean? My authentic self wants to stay on the couch and do fucking nothing. And to that, I would say, Okay, but for how long?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like when people say, oh, I'm having a really shitty day, I'm having emotions coming up. And I'm always someone who's like, fucking feel all of it.
Yes.
But don't stay in it to swim in it. Like, feel it and let it, like, take the lesson, because that's the rich fucking part of life.
Yeah.
When you go through shit. And I was thinking before this talk, James, and I listened to your podcast, and I just want to say it's fucking rad, because you've mastered the short but fucking impactful shit. Like, I'm taking notes, but I was thinking, you know, there's like moments in our life when I was a lot younger, and I was just like feeling bad, and I had no awareness to why I was feeling bad. I was thinking, oh, I'm not in the right school, I'm not studying the right thing, I'm not dating the right guy. I had no awareness to why I was feeling bad. It's only after so much retrospect, I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, thank God I went through all that shit. Now I know what I don't like. Now I know what I do like. It's like we with age, with time, we keep refining like the things we like. And the better we get, the sharper our swords get at like defining who we are. Like, oh, let's like, it's like that meat thing like that turns, and you're like, oh, cutting that off. Like, no, that's not, you know, and you keep refining who you are and like that being that you are. And the more that you refine that, the greater your sense of value is, because not only do you respect and honor that genuine fucking current inside of you, but like when people watch excellence, like when we watch Conor McGregor, whether you like it or not, like you can't fucking stop watching. He's like, it's a magnetism. Like you just like, whoa, what is happening? I don't even know. Or Angelina Jolie, like you don't even like, you can't not watch. It's just like, it's fascinating. It's like when people are magnetic and in their shit, you don't have to love what they do. You just can't take your fucking eyes off them. And I'm on a fucking rant, but I'm just gonna go one more thing.
It's all good.
One more. I'm so fucked. There's one thing I want to share with you. This is the coolest thing, because I know you have a daughter, right? You have a daughter. I don't know. I think she's 10, 11, 12.
Yep, 11.
Ah, see, I'm pretty good.
Nice.
Nice. Imagine if all the teachers you've ever had were so fucking enthusiastic about what they taught. Do you think you would have learned better?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's zero question.
Why is that?
Let me be honest with you. One, because I flunked English in high school just because I fucking hated the teacher. It's fucking English. I'm how the fuck can I flunk English? Because I fucking hated the teacher, and so I just didn't want to do the work. It's like, yeah. But yeah, the teacher, the thing that I thrived in the most, well, number one is probably because I liked what I was doing. So of course that's, you know, you're following that flow. But I also connected with that teacher more than any other teacher that I had. So, who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? And like you just said something, it's not about what you're actually studying, but it's literally about the energy. So what I said yesterday, and I share this in my private Facebook group with it, just women, but like, let me share this here. When we show up and we share with enthusiasm, people are able to pick it up and put it in their paradigm, put it in their life. But when we show up and we have absolutely like, you know what, James, like, I'm just kind of bored. Like, let's talk about authentic contribution. Like, it's like fucking snore fest. Like, no, like no, who wants to fucking learn about that? No one. Like, so I'm really speaking here about the importance of not only speaking for a reason. Like, if you're gonna speak, if you're gonna use this beautiful time and share energy with other people at all, like if you're ever gonna come out of your cave and go on this like Zoom call, this like beautiful Facebook group that you've organized, like you owe it not only to yourself, but for whoever is going to be the recipient of that message to have the right energy behind it. Because if you show up, and it doesn't matter what I'm saying, I could like read a fucking book. Like it doesn't matter what I'm saying, but if I'm bringing the right energy to it, people are able to actually take it in. People are able to take it in. It hits it on the like cellular level. Right? There's communication, there's activation. I can see some faces here and I can see that they're smiling at the jokes we make. You know, there's an energy. We're creating a connection. But if we're bland, if I'm teaching you math and I'm bored out of my fucking mind, like, you're not going to pay attention. Like, and like this is a discussion that I have all the time. Imagine if we had a society full of humans that are so fucking in love with their jobs. So in love. The bank teller is like, oh my God, I can't wait to help you. Like, I can't fucking wait to help you because it makes my day.
Yeah.
Or like you make a sandwich by someone who's like literally a sandwich artist, and they're like, and they twirl and they're like, I just put some peppers. And like, and then you leave the Subway like, whoa, what an experience that was.
Yeah.
Imagine that kind of society.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's where people really need to dive into, is just finding that thing that they love to do. And even if that's not necessarily your career, maybe you don't have a career path that is your true quote unquote calling. Maybe your calling is to be a mother. Maybe your calling is to be just a good friend, you know, whatever that happens to be, but just be the best fucking that, you know, whatever it happens to be. And just keep that energy. I don't know. I got stuck on the job thing because it just really that's the one thing that drives me fucking insane, was people get into jobs that they fucking hate, you know. And again, it doesn't have to be something that you absolutely fucking walk in every single day like, oh my God, this is the fucking magic, because maybe you haven't figured that out yet. But again, as you go through your evolution, you're trying different things, you know, and you find that balance. Just find something that you really enjoy, and you're surrounded by people that you really enjoy, because it helps keep that energy up. But absolutely. Yeah, because it's all about the fucking energy.
I love that you said, you know, touching about, it's not necessarily about like loving the fuck out of the job, but finding something in it. Like, do you love like your boss? Do you love your coworker? Do you love the ability that you have a voice at your job? Do you love that, you know, there's always little parts. We can look for the things and the breadcrumbs, right? Like you keep saying, like I'm at that job right now. I'm not gonna leave my job or whatever, but like I'm paying attention. My antennas are out. Like, oh, this feels bad. This feels good. Can I create something? Can I maybe find something? And it's a constant process of refining, because we're always refining who we are. We're always getting to know ourselves better, and we're always ever changing, especially when we're fucking personal development world. Like, it's like, I can't fucking escape the change. And I don't know about you, but like ever since coronavirus, it's almost like, holy shit. Like my message was like, I've had like a big transformation, like a big call to, who am I? What do I really believe in? What is the truth? And like the bullshit strips away. Like the little fucking things that used to matter don't matter. It's like, I gotta talk. I gotta really hone in on what really rings true to me, so that I can share that, because my message needs to be heard, because I know how important it is when you're like having that super rock bottom, when you're like, you have nothing fucking there for you. You need to have people like that are so fucking like you need to see examples of people that are happy. And I know for me, when I was at my rock bottom, I didn't see much of that. Like, I had to really go on a quest. And where are these people? Are they real? Like, are they real? Like, are they just fake? And the step that I'm into now, it's almost like the world, the way it is now, does it look like the way I wish it looked? Like, most of us would say no, right? And then what do I want to see more in the world? Like that Gandhi quote, what do I want to see more in the world? What's the thing that I want to see more? And am I an active agent? Am I an active like person that creates more of what I want to see in the world? And that is yes. And if one day I wake up and it's a no, I fucking change it.
Yeah.
Like, am I every single day promoting the things that I wish I saw more? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Like, I'm like, stop doing shit you fucking hate. Do more shit you fucking love. Like,
yes.
And that's, people are like, I don't know what I love. But like, I give you permission right now, because people think they're not worthy of doing what they love and get paid for it. This is the thing. They're like, the getting paid for it is the thing. And I know with one of my clients, I don't know if she's here, but she's like, you know, I'm qualified in so many things and I can help people, but how could I ever get paid for it? I'm like, what? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you deserve to be paid for your excellence. You refined your skills for so long. Please, for fuck's sakes, like, people need you to open up. Like, imagine Joe Dispenza not showing up on social media. Imagine Joe Dispenza not like having whatever he's doing. Like, imagine that. Imagine no Tony Robbins. Imagine no MLK. Imagine all the leaders, the people that have brought so much to our lives, if they didn't step up and if they didn't feel worthy, right? It's like, for fuck's sakes, like, no.
Yeah.
And also receiving the compensation, it's like, we need to start putting money to the things that we really believe in. Like, the authentic fucking truth. Like, oh my God, like, I will pay for quality. Like,
Yeah.
like maybe the masterminds that you're in, like, it's not fucking cheap. But you're like, the things I get back from that, it's like priceless.
Oh yeah. It's
Right?
definitely a no-brainer. Yeah.
But that's what we're seeing more of in the world. Like, we're going away from necessarily the traditional, like, university, like, wasted. I don't know about you, but I went to university twice. Ugh. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, what's my purpose? Who am I? Like, I like this, I like that, like business and interior design, like, you know, like fucking stretching that thing. And I had a minor in Spanish and Italian, and I'm like loving all those things. And then I'm like, I was still kind of in that refinement.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
only until I found the beautiful, like, the coaching industry or whatever, like personal development industry, whatever this is. And I was just like, whoa, I can learn so much more, so much faster. Like, it's like, why isn't everybody doing this? And I think right now what's happening is that a lot of people are catching on that, holy shit, I can learn like the worth of a four-year degree, but even better than a 4-year degree at like in like 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's really like, I think we're getting a rise, especially with the coronavirus. And I if you were on the fence about stepping forward and like just starting to follow the breadcrumbs to like your business, starting to follow the breadcrumbs of, okay, what would it look like if I had a business?
Yeah.
Why am I not worthy of having my own business? Do I have something to teach? Is there something that I know that is fucking valuable that could make someone's day fucking better? And it could be that you are a poet. It could be that you are a songwriter. Like, imagine your favorite artist, Kara, that you're here. I know that you like a lot of music. Imagine all your favorite artists didn't fucking show up for it. Like, it's like, you have to show up for your gift. You have to honor it. It's not just for you to get paid for it. It's for the world to enjoy. So don't be stingy with your gifts. Don't be stingy with your magic. Don't be stingy with the things that fucking God or the universe made you. Like, they're there for other people. We're an ecosystem. James, sorry, I go on a fucking and I'm like,
it's all good. It's all good. I love it. I love your energy and I love what you're bringing. That's why I'm so glad to have you on here today. And we'll put a bow on it here pretty quickly because I want to honor everybody's time. But the one thing I love, and I want to point out that you mentioned a couple of times through this conversation, is that it's an evolution. You're not going to fucking know it right out of the gates. And the one thing I want to let people know is always be growing, always be learning, and don't be afraid to look like a fucking idiot. That's the part I think that scares so many people because, like you said, we go do the things we should do. Society tells us we're supposed to go to high school and then we go to college. You guys call it university, you know, but we're supposed to go all these little steps and then we get the nice career and we do that for 40 years, whatever. It's all bullshit, man. Follow your own fucking path. And because, you know, that's what I did. I went to, you know, college right after high school because that's what I was supposed to do. And I did like a year and a half of architectural design because that's what I really liked kind of in school. Yeah.
We did the same thing. Okay. I didn't know that.
So that's what I went for. But I can't fucking sit behind a desk all day long and draw little boxes, you know, and shit like that. I can't, this is just not me. But I struggle because I'm like, this is what the fuck I'm supposed to do. And if I don't do this, then what the fuck am I supposed to do? And so just that's where the real big major shifts happened for me is once I got to the point, I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I don't care what anybody else thinks anymore. I've fucked it up so many times and I've tried to hide that from everybody. Now I just don't give a fuck anymore. I'm just going to keep doing whatever the fuck I want to do. If you love it, great. If you don't, fuck you, not in the nicest way, but I'm going to go do my own thing, you know, because in the end, I got to fucking be happy. Like I said, because I can't make anybody else happy in this world, especially my kids. You know, I can't make them happy if I'm over here struggling and, you know, every single day hating my life and hating what I'm doing. I just got to be me. And if that resonates with you, fucking beautiful. And if it doesn't, hey, you know, so be it. You go be you. I'll love you for who you are. You know, and again, we may not connect. We may not be best friends, but I'm at least going to respect that you're following your path. And that's going to mean a lot more to me than you pretending to be who you think I want you to be, because then that's where that energy just goes to shit. You're like, I don't like this guy and I don't really know why. It's because they're not being themselves.
You just like, I wish we had 7 more hours. Because I'm
So,
like, yo, you just like nailed it so
awesome.
hard.
So awesome. Well, let's
James.
check real quick. So since we do have some people joining us here on Zoom, anybody want to hop on? Anybody have any comments, questions, anything they want to chime in with a conversation here real quick before we wrap it up? That looks like a no. Okay.
Yeah. I know everybody kind of on here, and I know like they hear me talk all the time. Like they know, like they can ask me later or whatever. But James, I just want to thank you so much. Like I had so much fun. Like I'm feeling more energized after our talk than like, if that's even possible.
Yes. Well, and I love the fact that we finally got to connect. So we've been Instagram buddies forever, and we send voice messages back and forth and, support each other through that. But it's so awesome to finally actually have a real conversation, and we'll definitely have to do this again more often. So before we hop off of here, Sacha, let everybody know, where can they find you? Where do you hang out online? What's the best place for them to connect with you at?
So thank you so much for the opportunity. You can find me on Instagram at Your Authentic Expansion. But the place that I would say that I'm most, you can follow me on Facebook, Sacha Van G. But I would say if you are a woman, that's usually what I work with. I'm like looking into.
See, you be you,
I'm
not your ideal customer avatar, but that's okay. We still connect. And that's the beauty of it. You being you, I still connect with you, even though I'm not necessarily the person you're trying to communicate with through your message.
That's it. I mean, I love that. I asked my friend, like the people that are on here, like I went live and enlivened. By the way, that's my Facebook group where you can find me. That's really where I show up like a fuck ton. I would say once or twice a week, like I go live and I teach or I share my what's going on in my life. That's really, if you really want to get into my inner world, it's called Enlivened the Sisterhood, or just DM me, like just message me and I will like add you in. But that's really where I've been in. But I was so excited to talk with a man, like this is the first time, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so pumped. Like this is just, and you can tell I was really lit up by it. I was really excited, and like I feel that the flow that you brought to my woo-woo shit, like, is just real. And I hope that everybody comes and follows you, because you have some of the best captions on Instagram that I've ever seen. Like everything you write is like, fuck, dose of reality when you need it. So thank you for that, and thank you for the opportunity. Everybody, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much. And let me try one thing real quick, because Hillary's saying she's having trouble with the mic. Let me see. I was gonna see if maybe it would let me unmute her, but it doesn't look like it's going to. So, and then also, I want you to pimp out your podcast too, because I love it.
Oh shit! I was like, fuck. I have an awesome podcast. Honestly,
yes, she does.
It's such a fun thing to podcast. It's like so fun. Guys, you can follow my podcast. It's also called Enlivened. Yeah, I'm not very complicated, so just follow that. It's literally E-N-N, like live, and E-D at the end. Enlivened. Just type that in. There's no D, there's no like podcast. It's just Enlivened, like straight up. But thank you, Jay, for reminding me. I have an awesome podcast.
No. So, all right. Well, Sacha, thank you so much. Again, this was so amazing, and I loved every minute of it. And you guys all take care, and we'll see you on the next call.